Hey everybody, happy Monday. So today is Doc Talk Q&A, don't forget, okay? And get your questions in. And you can actually put any questions you have for the Q&A today, you can put right underneath your Facebook here. And we'll get to those this afternoon at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook and on YouTube and drdetoxshow.com if you'd like, okay? So what we're doing here is we shot on Friday a video, and I'm just going to show you a little bit. You'll be getting all this, but her hand was really twisted, right? Mm-hmm. And there was an arthritic knot here, because that's what it is. And you have to understand something. It's so amazing, eh? We can put somebody on the moon and got all these scientific breakthroughs, but nobody out there understands about arthritis. Nobody, which is just inflammation in the joint. And then when it's allowed to keep going, it becomes what? What does it become? It becomes osteoarthritis, then rheumatoid osteoarthritis. And it just means that you're not getting very good treatment, and that you're only on drugs, and you're only being sent to another person, maybe a surgeon. Maybe you're going to need surgery down the road. Understand the body will heal itself, and we're going to prove this. I worked on this area here, just right here, and when I worked on this area here, I worked on it for what, 20 minutes? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can still see the puffiness here, but there was so much emotion and frustration and anger over the years because of her hand not being fixed, and because people would look at you and think your hand was ugly, wouldn't they?
Yep. In Costco lineup, I had one gentleman come up to me and comment on my hands.
And how did that make you feel?
Well, I didn't feel insulted by it. I just explained to him, yes, I know.
I know you weren't insulted by it, but how did it make you feel? Because the reality is when you can't take action, how does that make you feel in life? Frustrated.
Yeah, frustrated.
The frustration goes into where the dis-ease is, because you're not at ease. So, not at ease, you create disease, right? And understand something, and I will prove this in my new masterclass that I'm bringing out called The Emotional Intelligence of Cancer and Disease. I'll prove it all. That it happens in the mind first before anywhere in the body. And you know what? This happened in her hands due to the type of emotion that she has and believes she has, and the inability to process certain emotions. They show up because the invisible creates the visible. And the invisible creates the physical. So after I worked on this area, 20 minutes, that's it, right?
Yep.
Her hand swelled up probably another ½ inch, right?
Oh yeah, it was quite pronounced.
And then a ½ inch high, right here. And before she left, it was like this, big and puffy.
Yeah.
And then the swelling came all the way up to her elbow. Now, I never touched anywhere except right here. So understand something. You'll see this on this video we're going to make. And you're going to hear the noise of all the crunching. When we were working on, was there crunching?
Oh yeah.
Crunching and snapping and popping. It's from the crystallization, the scar tissue and all that. I mean, come on, she was a piece of beef jerky right here. Okay? Yeah. So then when I worked on her, yesterday she called me because she talked to some people that wanted her to go to the hospital because she's in trouble. Because people are in trouble. They're all in trouble. Because their mind's in trouble. Because they don't understand it's not a healing crisis, it's a healing celebration. And the body was just swelling because there was so much emotion in here, and so much pain, and so much inflammation, scar tissue, that when I released that, I released all the emotion, and it came up this far. You know, if this was left for another 2 or 3 years, it could have came up halfway or right up to the shoulder, because it has to spread out in the body to create the healing. Okay, so do you understand? Go with the flow. So anyway, she called me, and I just said, you're lucky you didn't go, because you would have been taking drugs. And they would have suppressed the healing celebration, and then you would have been in crisis. Then this whole area would stiffen up. And I also told her that when you go to do the therapy at home, make sure you never ice it. You can use like 3 layers of cold, wet towel and just lovingly draw off the heat. But to draw off all the heat and use ice, you just shut the whole healing process down, and you lock the disease back in. I'm going to tell you something. Practitioners don't know what they're doing. They haven't got a clue. So, well, they do have a clue. But just think, if practitioners don't know what they're doing, what about the lay people? They've all been programmed to actually injure themselves. And you know, and as soon as there's a sign of healing, what does everybody do? Panic, right?
Yeah, you do.
You panic.
A little bit. Well, I wasn't panicking, but I was a little concerned after she said it was like the red line going up.
There wasn't a red line.
No, it wasn't a red line, but that
And I
kind
said
of
to
triggered
you-
my thinking, because I didn't really know the comparison. So that's why I wanted to know from you if it was anything to worry about.
Yeah, and I said, well, how did we infect you?
Yeah, you didn't. Nope.
You were already infected. You're infected with this, that created this. And so I released the infection, and then it had to dilute itself, because it couldn't stay all here. You couldn't have a hand that big. That's how much inflammation and swelling, so it had to spread itself out. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyways, Facebook, what we're going to be doing is we've got 2 cameras here because we're doing a little series here. We're going to be taking patients and showing you that, guess what? We're going to be showing you that I didn't put my foot in my mouth, that I actually know what I'm talking about, and that you have the power to heal, and you don't have to go to surgery 99% of all the cases. That's right. Okay? It's just called not treatment, it's called mistreatment. It's called misinformation. Okay? So we're going to be moving over to the main cameras, and we're going to talk about it, right? Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So anyways, here we go. So now what we're going to do is Janice is going to be utilizing, okay? She's going to be utilizing first, if you take a look here, okay? This here is called a Tesla. Okay, now this is Tesla's original equipment that we bought, and we had it refurbished. And we're going to be using what's called
the condenser.
That's right. And we could use the mushroom, right? But the condenser is even stronger. So we would use the mushroom of the Tesla all on the arm here, and then we'll use the condenser right here where the biggest knot is, right? Okay, and you'll be seeing that with Jason. Jason's going to show that. And then we're going to go and we're going to utilize the Allison because, well, first of all, this Tesla equipment is probably the most powerful equipment ever created in the way of relieving pain. In 30 seconds, this equipment can get pain out of the body. 30 seconds. The Allison increases microcirculation more than any other energy medicine equipment. You'll see it work. And then the Biotron is the most powerful full spectrum light in the world. Okay, and it's got a fluorine lens that was actually created by Tesla. Okay, so hang in there everybody, and we'll come back in just a few minutes and we will show you the power of self-healing, self-loving, learning to respect and honor and protect yourself, right? And even with Janice, I'm driving her crazy because I won't let her talk as a victim, will I?
No.
And
Shuts me down.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you come to me, just know I will give you all the love in the world, but I'll hold the line, won't I?
You sure will.
That's right. You're not allowed to talk bad about yourself, are you, around me?
No.
You can't talk down about yourself. And you can't apologize to me for something you've never done.
That's for sure.
Okay? All right? You're worth everything. We'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so everybody, as you know, we only did the work on on Friday, we did all the work, the Wolfe Non-Surgical. I did the Wolfe Non-Surgical on her hand for only 20 to 25 minutes, right?
That's correct.
Reduced her joint, the scar tissue and the knots in the joints by about 70% in 25 minutes. So understand something. What you think is real therapy out there is not real therapy, okay? Let's just get to it, okay? We have created a world of practitioners that go out and they manage pain. They actually don't master pain, and they don't reverse the dis-ease, because disease is just symptoms of somebody being out of balance, and going to practitioners who do not understand how to bring the body back into balance. And I'm not running these practitioners down, but the reality is that you having a life without pain and suffering is what you were supposed to have, which they told you that you could have which is not being delivered. Okay? And I will tell you right now, it's one thing to just make a statement, but there's one thing to back it up, and that's what I'm always going to do. Okay, so we worked on her hand, as we already stated. This weekend her hand swelled up like a balloon, and even though I only worked on this part of the hand, okay, the swelling went all the way to her elbow, and it's already coming down since yesterday. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this Tesla coil. This was actually built by Tesla. Okay? This unit here is approximately 100 years old. Did you get that? Okay. So now let's move forward. So Jason is going to take and show you what the Tesla coil, it's creating healing gases, okay, and frequencies. Now take a look at this. This is our tester here. You should be able to see purple coming from this mushroom instrument that's feeding off the coil, and then you'll see the red. That shows that it's active and it's working. And now what's going to happen is Jason's going to take the mushroom and he's going to work the whole hand with the mushroom. But understand something. In 3 minutes, we get rid of the pain out of the body with this unit. This unit gets rid of pain. It can get rid of pain in 3 minutes. So he's going to work the hand first with this, and then he's going to use the condenser. You see the difference? Okay? He's going to use the condenser to work right over just the area that I did to really go in there and establish that the scar tissue is not going to come back together and knot all up, and the calcium's not going to stay there, and the crystallization's not going to come back, and we're going to make sure that moves away, because the body, you know what the body thinks? Oh my gosh, how could somebody come in and untie a knot that's this big as a grape, and reduce it by 70%? Nobody else has been able to do it. It's got all this calcium and all this scar tissue, and it's bound up like a rock, and then somebody comes in and it brings it down by 70%. The body goes, this can't be right. So the body wants to bring it back to try to protect itself, because it's habitual. Okay? So everything in the cells is a habit. They're not actually thinking. The cells think, but there's a habit that's created there, and they go, oh, we got to protect ourselves. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to work with this, and go ahead and start. So what you're seeing is this argon gas and frequencies are going to go right in and start really repairing and charging up the mitochondria, helping to align the DNA, RNA, help the cells to actually process better, the toxins out, nutrition in, and then restore. This is all about restoring and coming back to total health, total tissue health, total cell health. All right, so we're going to let Jason do this now, and like I said, he's going to go through right up to the elbow, and then he's going to use the condenser just on the area that I worked on. And then we're going to come back and we're going to show you the Allison and the Biotron. Then you can take a look, if you guys get a close-up of her hand, and that you'll see how we're going to bring the swelling down and the redness, and it's going to look almost normal by the time we're done in the next, the whole thing is going to take us about, probably because the Allison is going to be 30 minutes, that's going to be 15, and this is only about, with the mushroom, it's going to be about 3 minutes to 5 minutes the whole arm, and then he'll go in with the condenser for only 3 minutes on the area, okay?
You can even smell the ozone producing from the Tesla machine.
Yeah, and there's not enough ozone to make it dangerous. There's enough ozone to help to clean your sinuses out, though, because we know that ozone, it stands for oxygen on emission, all right? So there's part one of the energy medicine training that we do when everybody comes to us, okay? And what we like people to do is we like people to actually bring health home. So if you want to take your life back, then you need to learn what we know so that you can change your reality. So change your personality and become the practitioner that you seek. We'll be back to show you the rest of the equipment in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. So now that we did the Tesla coil, now we move on to a device called an Allison. And you know, it's really important that when we say things, it actually is true. But Allison increases the microcirculation in the human body more than anything else that we know of on the planet. And this is proven by different university studies and actually third-party studies. Okay, so all the documentation is there. where even like the Beamer, even like a hyperbaric chamber doesn't come close to an Allison. Isn't that something? An Allison will increase the circulation by 100% more than anything else on the market, but it'll increase the microcirculation in the body by 66%, where most things are around 32 to 36%, okay? And you'll know it is because you'll find that your nails are growing faster, okay? Your hair is growing faster and thicker. It actually will help grow the hair back. So the worst place for circulation is the head, the hands, and the feet. And you know it as you get older because of cold hands, cold feet. I mean, how cold were your hands? Where the arthritis is?
Well, they were cold because my grandchildren didn't like me helping them get dressed.
That's right. So you're going to have cold hands because you're on your way out, okay? I mean, that's why they call it, oh, you see the stiff over there? That means something that's dead, right? So understand, a stiff is cold. So understand something, the more life that leaves your body, the colder that area, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do the Allison now for 30 minutes. And people with a chronic condition, they want to do the Allison 4 times a day. But with her knowing and understanding about scar tissue and crystallization and the calcium, and we're teaching her how she can work on herself and how her husband can work on her. So if you don't live local, okay, if you don't live locally, you can't come in every week. That's why we do the personal treatment and trainings where you come here or we fly to you and we'll teach your whole family. We'll teach your whole community. We go to places where there can be 250 people living on a farm, and we will teach a few people there how to become non-surgical certified so that they know how to work anywhere on the body and how to use all this, because what does it matter? If you don't understand it and you're not able to do the actual therapy that gets you well, then how valuable is that therapy? So we're going to use the Allison, and we're going to do that now, and then we're going to come back in a half an hour, and we're going to show you how the Biotron works, okay? And then we're going to talk about the home care that I'll want her to do, and we talked about that on Friday, the first video, but we're going to, because it's going to change a little bit, because we're already seeing big changes here, okay? Thank you. Okay, so now what we've done is we've used the Tesla coil, we used the Allison, and now we're going to finish off with the Biotron light, which is a full spectrum light, okay? And it's the only light of its kind. And it has a fluorine lens. The same person that developed the Tesla, which was Tesla, Nikola Tesla, developed the lens that's actually in this light. And it can actually shine right into the bone. Now, so then we're going to run this for about 15 minutes, okay? And then at the end of these videos, okay, we're going to show you a picture, the whole transition. We're going to show you before we did the first deep tissue treatment, right after the 20 minutes, okay, and then we're going to show you her hand when she came in today, and then we're going to show you her hand and arm when she leaves today, okay? And she's only had 1 treatment, everyone. So then we will show you when we do the second treatment on her, okay? Now, remember something. We're also going to be teaching her husband how to work on her, and we're going to teach her how to work on herself, like I was saying in the other video, because you know what? You got to bring health home, okay? If you want to just be treated instead of trained, you're only going to be good to your next treatment, okay? And that, for me, that just doesn't work, all right? And just so you know, like I said, the Allison will increase microcirculation by 66%. This will increase it by about 33%. But remember something, the Allison, we're dealing with a temperature and a pulse, and with this, we're dealing with light energy. So they're 2 different healing modalities. And then with the Tesla, we're dealing with gases and we're dealing with frequencies. So what we've done is we've brought the best of energy medicine together to help to create that healing, okay? So now what we're going to do is I just want to talk about what she will do when she goes home, all right? What Janice will do. So when Janice goes home, now she won't have to put a cool, wet, cold towel on to draw the inflammation off, because we don't want to bring any more inflammation down. We want the natural process of healing. People don't get this. It's really messed up out there, okay? I mean, come on. Some of the so-called physios, so-called best physios in this town, people will come to me and I say, I was told to go home and ice it. And I said, yeah, well, that's great. Now we got cell death. Now you're locking everything in. You can't lock the disease in. And also, we were talking here off camera, and believe it or not, when I worked on her, as you will see when we show you the transition of pictures, when I worked on her for 20-25 minutes maximum, the whole top part of her hand and right down to here, it went black, gray, like charcoal. Why? Ready for this? That was the death coming out. You heard what I said. That was the death, disease, and the death of the cells coming out of the cells to revive them. That's right, we actually store that. Like I was saying in the other video that's why you have cold hands, because your vibration comes down, your energy comes down, your mitochondria are corrupted, okay? All right, so when she goes home now, she'll do vascular flushing, where she's going to do, ready for this? 3 minutes of warm water under this area, okay? And then 1 minute as cold as the water comes out, and then 3 minutes of warm, 1 minute of cold, 3 minutes of warm, 1 minute of cold, finishing off with cold and doing that 3 times, and she'll do that 3 or 4 times a day. Because we want to really just flush everything out, flush it in, activate the cells. We want to contract, and we want to expand. Contract, expand. Just like your lungs, taking a deep breath. Toxins out, nutrition in. We got this. You know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. If she really embraces loving herself, her hands will look like within 6 weeks to 3 months, if she does her due diligence, her hands will look like they've never been arthritic ever in her life. But most people cannot center themselves enough in self-care, self-awareness, self-love. They fall off. And also, guess what? She'll be the only one in the family that's really focusing on her health. And guess what? For the rest of the family, that's called selfishness. That's called being, you're so self-centered. I can't believe all the time you take for yourself. Now, I will tell you with her personality is that she overdoes everything. So they have a property that they work on. And I guarantee you that she tries to keep on proving herself like every other woman that, you know, she didn't hydrate properly. She pushes herself, even when her neck hurts, her back hurts, her hand works, she goes, I can do more. I can do more. And that was actually, guess what that is? That's a self-hate program that she didn't even know was running. I am not going to do more. I am not going to abuse myself. I am going to love myself. I am going to give myself the pleasures of life. There's a new concept, eh, Janice?
Yes, it totally is.
It is a new concept, isn't it? And you know what? There's nothing wrong with this woman. This is one of the most beautiful women that has walked into my clinic. But you're all programmed. You're programmed to self-destruct. So anyways, we're going to get her to do the vascular flushing. And we're going to get her to continually rub the DMSO cream. Can you pick it up and show the camera, please? The DMSO cream.
DMSO rose cream.
That would be that camera there, right? So, no, that's good. Just lift it up. And that's the rose cream. It's not as intense. So that'll go on the arm lightly, 3 times a day. The gel will go on the area that I worked where it was all knotty. The gel will go there. And then the pain away, is, as the pain comes down, she'll switch from using our pain away. These are all our oils. And I will come up against any oils on the market anywhere. I've got the best alchemist in the world, I really do, and I've been making oils for 32 years. Did you get that? We've been around a while. So we will use the pain away, but as the pain away is gone, we go more with the muscle restore, okay? And the muscle restore is more for tissue healing, not for drawing the pain. And then we'll also use the pain away spray. And that is a fulvic spray that will draw inflammation off, and she should have been spraying that on her arm as much as she could think about when it was really inflamed. It'll just draw it right off.
It actually takes the pain right out.
Right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would take it away that fast.
It was really hot after we left here, and so it was painful, and I sprayed
Yeah.
it, and it knocked it right out.
And it knocked the pain out. Did you guys hear that? Did that get on camera? All right. So understand that once you learn these basic steps and these basic rules, and that you are the practitioner for you, no one is going to be better than you. Let me tell you something. All right? She needs to get to the point that she does not need me at all. Because that's when she's going to have her life back. And that's when she's showing our Creator that she totally respects her body for the first time in her life. Because when you don't need another practitioner and you don't need to go for treatments, then you've been trained how to get off the pain train. Okay? I want to thank everybody for joining us, and the next time you will see us is when we're going to be doing the next treatment. Okay? And the next treatment will only be the second treatment, and you're going to see that you are the miracle.